So you're looking to move to sunny Central Florida, Orlando in 2024. Well, in this video, I tell you 6 reasons why not to move to sunny Central Florida. Let's have a look. Let's go. Hello and welcome to Orlando Living, and if this is your first time, please press that thumbs up button because I bring you community videos all throughout Central Florida, Tampa Bay and Ocala areas. We talk about all the suburban areas. We go into school, hospital, shopping and dining, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about 6 main reasons why you probably wouldn't want to move to beautiful sunny Central Florida. So the very first reason that you wouldn't want to move to Central Florida, Orlando, is the heat and the humidity. And can you handle it? You know, I got extra sweat glands, so I can tell you, like, I'm out in the sun and 5 minutes later, I am literally melting. So this may or may not work for you because this is something that you got to consider. And if it rains, it's going to get even more humid. But if you love the sunlight, if you love the sunny days, and you don't mind the sun rain every now and then you may be okay with it. So this is something a lot of people do not take into consideration. They want to be in a nice sunny place, but then they forget about the dryness, the humidity. So this is something that I would tell you to be very considerate when you are looking to move. And this is one of the reasons people move to and people do not move to, because of the very same reason. Now let's talk about the next one, which is also very important, because when you move to a city like Orlando, guess what we have? One of the reasons to consider before you move to sunny Central Florida, Orlando, is the tourist. Orlando being one of the major cities for tourist destination, we have millions of visitors that come here every single year. And with tourists comes the traffic, comes the confusion, comes long lines, everything along with it. And as one of my friends put it in the very right way, is we have 2 worlds in Orlando. There is one that is just going to and from work while everybody around you is on vacation. So this is something to consider very seriously when you are looking to move into any metropolitan city, and Orlando is not immune to that. So we do have a lot of people that move because of the infrastructure that we have over here. So this is something to consider. Now let's talk about the next reason for why you wouldn't want to move to Orlando. I-4, the infamous interstate that runs through the heart of Orlando and all the suburban Central Florida areas, and I kind of have a love-hate relationship. I love I-4 during the hours of 11 a.m. to like 3:30, 4 o'clock. Anything before or after is a nightmare, and it doesn't really matter. It's more of a nightmare during the weekdays, but it's still a nightmare during those hours because the traffic could be bumper to bumper, and once you get in those hours, it could be like you could be stuck there for hours, and your toll roads are not any better either around that same time because there's just so much traffic that happens, and there's always construction that is going on. And I talk about this in the other con because it's just so much that is going on. So this is something that you want to consider, especially if you have to do a daily commute. Then you may find yourself stuck in those hours, so you may have to start a little more early during the day. But if you're working from home, then it may just be perfect for you. So these are the things that you want to consider when you are kind of looking, and this is one of the reasons why this may not be the right place for you to move to Central Florida. So one of the other reasons that you may not want to move is the beautiful wildlife that we have. Now this one is fake, but there is a pretty good chance if you're living in the suburban area, you're going to probably find an alligator right in your retention pond or right by the lake, snakes in your backyard. And this is something to keep in mind because some people get petrified. Personal story, just recently I moved into Claremont where I built my own home, and it's a little bit of a rural area with a lot of development coming to it. And my wife found a snake, a baby snake, and she's freaking out like no other day tomorrow. So if you are going to be petrified of the bugs and the snakes and the alligators, then this may not be the right place for you because this is just Florida. This is just nature, and depending upon how deep in suburban area you are and if you have any vegetation right behind you, then it's a very common thing to kind of just see a garden snake or just see an alligator sunbathing and just acting as if it's dead. But that does happen. So that is another factor to kind of keep in mind because it's going to play a big factor, and you don't want your wife to be climbing the roof or the climbing a tree for that matter, because she is so petrified. So that is something to keep in mind. Now let's talk about the next con, or the next reason for why you wouldn't want to move to Central Florida. Construction, 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 the constant construction. No matter where you look or where you move to, you would see a new community coming up, the roads being built and everything that is happening around. And yes, Orlando and Central Florida areas are expanding. There is a lot of growth that is happening in the city, but you can also see the whole city is changing with newer communities, better communities, whether that be vertical construction, whether that be horizontal. There's just everything is happening, and with almost 1,000 people moving a day to beautiful sunny Central Florida areas, suburban areas, there is a lot to consider when you are looking. Now, it's still very affordable when you look at that and compare to other metropolitan cities, but that is a factor that you have to consider. And for that reason, this may not be the place for you, because there's a very good chance wherever you move to, there is a construction happening nearby or just within a mile or two of it. One of the other reasons that you wouldn't want to move to beautiful sunny Central Florida, Orlando area is the weather. As beautiful and as sunny as it was when I first started doing the video, you can look the cloud formation right behind me, and in probably another half an hour, it's going to rain like no other day tomorrow. And then the half an hour later, it would be nice, beautiful, sunny, hot, and humid beyond a point. So if this is not your thing, then this may not work for you. So this is something that you really have to consider. A personal story of mine, when I used to work in Milwaukee and Chicago areas, I absolutely loved the summers, but when winter came in, I was so miserable. So you just have to decide what works for you and your family. And if I haven't scared you enough, and you're still ready to move to beautiful sunny Central Florida, and if you are looking for that brand new home, make sure to check out Orlando Home Show and Orlando Home Show in Espanol, where I bring you 8+ models in English and in Spanish all throughout Central Florida, Orlando, Tampa, Tampa Bay, and Ocala areas. We can assist you. And if you haven't watched other videos on the playlist, please go ahead and do so. We have done over 50+ suburban areas. We kind of give you some sort of a point of reference in regards to the suburban area. We talk about school, shopping, dining, and everything else. I hope you get a lot of value from my videos, and if you do, press that thumbs up button. And if you are not scared, let's have a talk, let's chat, and let's get you moved to beautiful Central Florida. Until the next video, thank you for watching. Bye for now.